Hey, what's up? This is Mark at Alchemist.camp, where usually we learn the Elixir programming language and Phoenix by building things. But today I'm going to talk about marketing and some of the tools I used and how they helped me figure out what people want and provide that. So, just a quick overview if you don't know anything about Alchemist Camp, it's a site and a YouTube channel where I make screencasts to teach people Elixir. I knew there was some demand for it before I even started, and that's because I was working on a startup using Elixir myself, and I actually really wanted something like this. So this is a direct response to something I saw missing in the market. I had, basically bought all the Elixir books I could, and I checked out all the other screencasts, and I wanted something like this, and so I made it. So I was starting from a place knowing at least for however many people in the world there are similar to me, there was some desire for this. And at the beginning, it was only a YouTube channel. The site had no traffic, so the question I had was, how do I figure out what other people want, and how do I make something useful for them when I don't want to spend any money on, say, professional surveys, and I don't want to spend a lot on Facebook ads or something like that. I didn't have an audience to ask, at least not really. So here's what I did. I used a free, or I guess freemium, but for me, free tool called Hotjar, and it does a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to full screen this and bump up the font size so you can see what's going on. So as you can see, there are several tools here. We have heat maps, recordings, funnels, forms. I started off by making a heat map of the site. So this is when I was getting 5 visitors a day, just people that found it through the link or through my shout out in the YouTube videos. And the heat map basically just shows you where everyone is clicking, and that's a good way to know what people are interested in. I started this late December, and this again is when the site was so small it wasn't even listed on Alexa. And in general, you're going to see a lot of clicks to the top. Well, some people are interested and they'll scroll down to the very bottom. And you can see a lot of people do, and they want to check out my Twitter profile, which also had almost nothing. But the really useful thing is I could figure out what topics people cared about. A lot of people were interested in CLIs. I noticed this very early. And before the heat map looked a little different because there weren't as many things, not as many clicks. But I saw this, so I made more CLI videos. I also saw that there was interest in state machines, and as soon as I did anything with it, there was pretty intense interest in Cowboy server. And because of this, I ended up making a whole series of videos about how I'm making this my site at all, building up from a bare Cowboy server. And it doesn't matter if you don't know what Elixir is, or what a Cowboy server is, or what Phoenix is. But basically, I found out people were interested in this topic, so I started making more of it. And of course, early in, and even now, I'm still casting a pretty wide net and trying out different things. And another thing that I hit on that a lot of people were interested in was OTP, and this also factors in fairly prominently into this series of videos and another project I made called StatWatch. And with just this, I had some direction of what topics to put in my videos and what to talk about in the descriptions of them. And it's a little hard to attribute exactly what things got me more traffic than other things, especially on YouTube videos. There's no mechanism for people to say, I am here because of XYZ, or I guess there are comments, and if someone does leave a comment saying that, I totally take it into account. But most people just watch what they want to watch and then leave when they're done. The next step, once I had a bit more traffic and a bit more interest, is I made a YouTube video linking to a survey that I made with Hotjar. Surveys are, well, actually I've got it open in a tab, I believe this one. And I shared it both ways. I made this pop up on the web page, which was at that point, still maybe 15 or 20 people a day. So it's not a lot of traffic at all. And anyone that was on the page, and I believe I set it so if they scroll down halfway through the page or showed some level of engagement, there'd be a pop-up that said, hey, there's a quick survey. Would you mind telling me what you want to learn? And that's not a big ask, because if people are on my page, they probably found it through my YouTube video about the Elixir programming language. They're checking out the page. They're seeing what things I've already recorded lessons on, and they probably are looking to learn a specific thing, or else just checking out the language in general. And in that case, it's not a big ask to say, what do you want to learn? I listed a bunch of different topics to see what people wanted, as well as an other box where people could tell me specific things I didn't list. And I asked what they wanted prioritized in general, like in terms of me recording videos versus building out the site. And then I left an open comment. And that's it. So someone could do this survey literally just like 1, 2, no comments, send. They could do the thing in like 10 seconds if they wanted to. There's a view where you can just see all the results as they're coming in. And as you can see, the answer to the first thing, like which topics they want me to teach, like that's kind of all over the map. But there's a bit more interest in general in OTP and Phoenix. So again, like that tells me what I should make more lessons on. And as far as what to prioritize, this was really clear. A lot of people want me to record more videos. And there's another view where I can see the exact numbers and breakdowns, which I guess I'll click to right now, results. So I could see over half of the people prefer me to make more videos to anything else. And a sizable number also want me to post the source code and organize the lessons a bit better. And the other question, organized by count, distributed OTP was the winner, and Phoenix in general and Phoenix channels and making bigger projects were all pretty prominent. And back to the replies here, I also noticed some other things that I never would have guessed. For example, so you can see I've got listeners from all over the world, different native languages, and one thing which was I never would have guessed is every single listener from India who filled out comments on the survey asked for TDD, test-driven development. I never would have thought of this, and only people from India asked for it. So for whatever reason, everybody who watches my channel and is deeply engaged who's from India wants me to teach test-driven development, and nobody from anywhere else in the world has expressed interest in it. So maybe that's something I'll dig into at some point. TDD is not high on the list just because of the total numbers, but if I do make a TDD video, maybe I'll do some Googling and see what web development professionals in India care about for test-driven design, and maybe see if this is a common sort of job requirement, or if it comes up in interviewing, or and basically just see what way I can make the video more useful to the group of people who are watching it. So to zoom out a bit here, I haven't really done anything like purchase advertising or get on Quora and answer everything I can about Elixir or anything like that. I think there probably is some value in doing a little bit of marketing of that sort, but at least for the beginning, like I've just focused on trying to make something that people want. And the reason for that is because all the effort that I put into making these videos is more or less evergreen. The videos that I make that are useful now are still going to be useful 6 months from now. I did get a lot of mileage out of one post to Reddit. It's basically saying, hey, I've made this resource, look at this thing, and it's free. And obviously that's something that tends to be popular on link sharing sites like that. But that was only a one-off thing. And after that link was no longer on the front page of that subreddit, it was no longer getting me any more subscribers or doing anything for me. Whereas if I made a video that was useful and well liked about how to make a state machine for a tic-tac-toe game, that video is still getting watched, a month and a half later, and it's still occasionally bringing in new subscribers. So I think if you make something that people want, all of that effort will keep on paying off over a longer period of time. Whereas a lot of marketing efforts have to, at least the ones that pay off quickly, have to be ongoing. Other than the free videos on YouTube, one thing that I can see being a long-term useful marketing channel that just grows and grows and grows is SEO. So that's something I am going to start focusing on this month, and I'll start building out a page for each video, or at least as many as I can, starting with the most popular ones, and just get some text on the internet that can be indexed by Google. And also, I think people that find that through the video will check out other videos, and obviously I'll link this up in the videos so people that find one video can go to the site, and maybe they don't want to watch the whole video, they just want to cherry pick the certain things that they didn't understand how to do out of the video, especially in the case of a longer video. So it actually is not just a way for people to find me, but it makes the educational offering itself a bit better. So in a nutshell, this is how I've used Hotjar to improve my content-based website. And I would totally use it for a product-based website. There's another feature called screen recordings, where you can see where somebody is moving their mouse. Actually, let me see if I've got any. Here we are. So each of these is a recording of somebody who's visited the page, and I can see, here's a long one. Somebody from the US spent 7 minutes and 48 seconds on the page. Let's see what they were doing. And you can see they're on a desktop, Chrome, Mac, and this recording, actually I'm going to set it up to skip pauses, so it'll be a lot quicker. They did not fill out the survey. Yeah, so this is not super useful for me right now, because it's there's no sign up flow. I don't see indecision as someone's deciding whether or not they want to pay for premium videos. But if you make something that's more of like a web app than a web page, these recordings are amazing. You can see people using whatever tool you've made, and either getting good experience or getting confused and clicking on things you never thought people would click on. Anyway, this video isn't any sort of knock against other analytics tools, and in fact I'll probably be doing a future one on YouTube analytics, which are super useful, especially for figuring out which parts of your video are more and less interesting to your viewers. But I hope this has been eye-opening for at least a few of you, has given you an idea of how to use free tools like Heatmaps and Surveys to guide your development before you have that many people looking at your site.